Here's my interview with Negus from the People's Action Movement.
Absolutely.
All right,
People's
man.
Action. It's an honor to be on the show, man. I love grassroots networks because it's real, it's unfiltered, and it's direct. So it's nothing better than that to speak with brothers and sisters like you across the country.
Appreciate you, man. I saw your post yesterday on Facebook, and it was regarding to human trafficking, especially in our community, the black community. Um, Not too long ago, there was a young lady from Houston, Texas, and she was in this. She was in an Uber, and the Uber driver tried to take her to a warehouse, and she didn't like what she was seeing, so she fought her way out, got out of the ride, and she posted the video on social media warning everybody about Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, because they're making an attempt to try to human traffic women and children. Have you seen the video?
Yeah, I definitely seen it. I shared it actually.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's crazy, man. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah. So here's the thing: black men are the most targeted people on earth, and black women are the most disrespected people on the earth. And when we look at the abduction, man, there's hundreds of people, hundreds of black women and children that go missing every day. And the problem with that is that I think we've become desensitized to it, and I think there's not enough people highlighting and bringing attention to our black women that are being abducted. Our black women and children are in danger. And what I mean by they're in danger, they're in threat because they're being constantly attacked, they're being raped, they're being abducted, and I feel, not even I feel, I know as a black man, it is our responsibility to be apologists for our black women. They are the most precious, beautiful thing on the planet Earth, and they are the ones who bear our children. So it is our right, it is our obligation to make sure that we do everything in our capacity to make sure that we can ensure the safety of them. So with that being said, one of the things that I've done in the past, I've organized with my previous organization that I was the vice president for, New Era Detroit. It's a great organization. I created a program called the Streets is Watching. Zeke took that program over and did an excellent job with it. But anyway, it was a car patrol. We made sure that kids got to and from school safe. And in my organization that I have now, it's called the People's Action. We're about to actually start launching that. And I'm going to create a blue model. I'm going to be working with the local police force, the black chief, to get understanding like where are the high risk areas of where child abduction is happening, where rape and sexual assaults are happening, because you need that data. You got to have that. You want to make sure wherever you're going is the target area. Now, Michigan is number 2 in human trafficking. We have the most human trafficking in the country outside of Nevada. Of course, that's where Las Vegas at. And 80% of the victims are from foster care, right? Women that came out of the foster care system. So what does that tell you? That tells you that a lot of these predators are looking for women who don't have any father figures, who don't have any family stability. They're looking for women who are easily can be preyed upon and nobody cares about and forget because they are in the system. So that's why it's very important. That old saying, they say it takes a village to raise a family. Well, that is that's very practical, and it's something that does apply when you're looking at human trafficking right now in places like city of Detroit.
Now, what motivated you to get this movement started?
What motivate me is just really seeing it. Like I said, the black woman is very disrespected by us and by other races, and I'm not one of them people that just trying to panhandle or kiss up to the black woman or something. It's just facts, man. And like I said, black men, we are very targeted as folks, but our women are not being protected. And I think I know we have to stand up. We have to do something. We have to create some programs. We have to show that we are protectors and we are providers. And one of the things that we need to do is, when we're seeing right now, at this rate, at this high frequency of black women are being abducted and missing, and you mean to tell me there's not an outrage about it? There's not an outcry for that? Man, it's crazy. It's unbelievable. I mean, I have daughters, man. I gotta, you know, what I mean, how can I look my children in the face, you know, and when they get older, and tell them that I'm out here making sure that I'm protecting and securing their future? I mean, it's a complete hypocrisy, and I don't feel, I just don't feel like, I don't feel right calling myself a man if I'm not out here doing something to make sure that our women are protected. Because what affects the other woman, it definitely affects my child. It affects my mother. It affects my sister. It affects anybody that's in my, you know, that's part of my family. I don't wait till wait till it comes to my doorstep. I act on it. I act on it early. I do it, you know, years before it even gets to my doorstep. And that's how every man and sister should feel. But we've become too desensitized. We've become too comfortable. And we always look at these things can never happen to us until it happens. Don't wait till you become, don't become the mother who's now an activist, a post-activist, after something happened to her mother. I mean, something happened to her daughter or son. Now you all out here in the streets real happy. You should have been doing that years ago.
Oh, facts. Oh, facts. And, you know, especially when you talked about the black man, I mean, I feel like we are the most hated human being on the face of the earth. It doesn't matter,
no doubt,
where we go on this planet, we are hated. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
And it doesn't make any sense, because the planet, it really feeds off us, especially black men and the black woman. And I think that hatred becomes, I mean, that comes from jealousy, basically. That it really comes from jealousy. By that being,
well,
go ahead.
You know what? Honestly, I don't even know if it comes from jealousy. You know, that may be the case, but more importantly, what I really feel it comes from is from fear of the potentiality.
Yes.
You know, black men are anything that we put our mind to, we're dominant in, right? Yes. And even the things that we're dominant in, we don't even have self-knowledge of that. I mean, if you look at the information technology that is predominantly the economy of the world right now, black men were the creators of that. I mean, you can go from the cell phone to the technology that break through from the cell phone to the light bulb to the computers. I mean, to the GPS system. I mean, you name it, it's black men and black women that has created that. And that's not even me exaggerating. If you look at who has the highest IQ right now in colleges,
black men, young black men.
Yeah, Nigerians. Yeah. You know, Nigerians have the highest IQ more than any other ethnic or race group. So when you're looking at, and then of course, you know, sports is dominant, but I don't even mention that because that's just so evident. Yeah. But we're more than athletes. We're definitely, we got to be in the cerebral arena as well. So when you look at all of that, and then you look at the potentiality, the only advantage that they really have is the generational wealth gap. And that's just due to them simply being able to do that through slavery that they've been having over the 400 years. So they have a big head jump start. But when you look at anything outside of that, we have the advantages. We have the vantage point. We're excelling on anything we do. So when you know that, and they're very studious, so they know that, they have a lot of reasons to fear us, and they have a lot of reasons to fear us for competition. So it's in their best interest to keep us marginalized, and also for them to try to create systems that give some level of preferential treatment where it can cause division between, you know, our brothers and sisters. But I don't let that deter me. I don't let that, you know, get me distracted, and shouldn't let other brothers get us distracted from protecting our sisters. Because at the end of the day, unfortunately, most of these households are single mother households. So if the black woman is in distress and she's under attack, right? That essentially means that also the kids are being under attack too, because they are their mothers.
Exactly.
They are the ones who are the primary caregiver.
Exactly. It's, in our community, we have more baby mamas and baby daddies than we actually have fathers, husbands, and wives. And that's really, that's an epidemic that we have to stop. We have to break that cycle as a people. But on that, as far as human trafficking, I share on social media on my page because I use my social media as tools to, share information. And when I see missing black girls and boys, I share that. But I feel like I can do more. And there's so many people out here that's willing to do more. I'm asking you, like, how can someone get involved and try to help stop the human trafficking in their neighborhood?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I'm glad you asked that question. It's easy, but it's not easy. The easy part in terms of figuring out how you can help is easy. The hard part is getting people motivated, get off their ass, and actually, participate. That's going to be your hard part. So the easy part is I highly recommend, so you don't go in, ignorantly, unless you actually have, direct knowledge just from being in that area, unless you live in an actually impacted area. But if you don't know what the heavy areas of where, rape or child abduction is happening at, I would recommend if you have, see, we're a little lucky in Detroit. We check our own. So, if the police get out of line, we have those kind of relationships where we'll go holler at them and say, listen, if this don't happen, we'll come at the police station and we'll cause a ruckus. And they understand that. So it's a respectability aspect. But the first thing I would recommend is go to your local police and sit down and get the community and sit down with the detectives who handles, homicides, who handles the rape cases and abductions. I forgot which department that is. But sit down and get information. Have a community meeting. Have him give you the areas of where these are mostly taken, because they have all that data. Whatever areas where it's heavily concentrated or where there's been the most reports of child predators, get you in that community, set up and get you a team and start doing patrols, right? And then what you do is you create a route based upon the area, and usually do that. Maybe do 2-hour shifts and have rotates and stuff like that. Get people to volunteer. And then you can actually holler at your local block clubs. And if you don't have a block club, create a block club and have the city fund you and give you money for gas car stipends and stuff like that, so you can actually get compensated a little bit for the volunteer work that you're doing in terms of securing our system. But those are really the steps. Get the data and information from your local authority. If you don't already create a block club, it's very simple. I can send information if anybody needs that. Use that block club to get money so you can actually fund for the gas that you're going to be burning and other little extra expenses, and set you up a car patrol. Also, find and get you some self-defense instructors, okay? We can't be everywhere and anywhere for our black women and children. But what you can do, and this is what TPA does, the People's Action, we have women and children self-defense classes on a monthly basis. We stopped them for a little bit, but we're bringing them back. It's been proven to show statistically that 90% of women who have received these trainings are able to prevent these things from happening or stopping them before they even occur, because they are cognitively aware of their surroundings based upon their training. Because when you're dealing with true self-defense, you're not only dealing with the physical aspects as far as how to defend yourself, but it's cerebral as well. You're also actually learning how to know your surroundings. If you're pumping the gas, you're fully alert and aware. And these are the kind of training and skills that our women in the neighborhood need to know. So those are two things that you can initially do to help prevent abduction, rape, and those things. Give them self-defense training, number one. Number two, set up car patrols where you can patrol at the hours of the night or the day when they're actually on high alert.
Tell us more about the People's Action.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the People's Action initially was a political committee. It was a branch of New Era, Detroit. It was created in roughly 2016. It was a political branch. We was fighting for proposals that served the community, like the CBA, which is called the Community Benefits Agreement. Basically, which means is that when the gentrification happened and developers are coming to the city and are asking for tax abatements and tax incentives, what the CBA does is it mandates them to sit down with the community and talk about, okay, if you want to get our public dollars, what are you going to invest in the community? And that's one of the proposals that we were fighting for. That was our first actual assignment. But after I resigned and I stepped down from New Era Detroit, I went ahead and made it into an actual community organization. The People's Action officially was created in November 25th of 2017. Our first program was called the Poverty Tax Exemption Workshop. And what that was is that people that had low income was qualified to get their property taxes exempt or reduced based upon that, because in Detroit in 2015 we had a record-breaking foreclosure of houses in the history of America. There were more houses foreclosed in 2015 than any other place in America, and that was that wasn't no mistake by us being the blackest city in America. We are the blackest city in America per 100,000 capital. And the People's Action, man, is a great organization. We have 4 pillars: the people's community, the people's politics, the people's army, and also the people's economy. So we focus on those 4 things. We do political work, we do community work, and we also do self-defense work. And then we also have an investment company. So we're trying to cover all different fields, because we feel that if you're going to be serious about the revolution, you're going to be about the work, you got to be able to cover all platforms, and that's what we're doing, man. So we've been around for 2 years. We're going out to California on February 6th. We're going to be opening up our LA chapter out there, and we're going to just be expanding, man. And we're all about unity and love. And I'm going to end it with this, with the People's Action. We got 4 principles. Without unity, there's no power. Without discipline, you can't execute. And then before you can mobilize, you must organize. So organize, then you can mobilize people. Those are our 4 principles, and that's what we stand by.
How can people support the People's Action?
Okay, so there's several ways. Okay, now if you live in the city of Detroit or the metropolitan area, your biggest way of support and foremost is actually boots on the ground. We value that more than anything, and you can get information about our events and whereabouts through our website, which is thepeoplesaction.com, or you can go email us at info@thepeoplesaction.com, or you can go on our social media pages, peoplesaction.com. We always post it. Now, if you're across the country, there's still 2 options, right? Mm-hmm. You can either give monetary contributions. The revolution must be financed. We always can use money right now. We're working on projects right now as far as building up community services in the most economically deprived neighborhoods. So we're trying to build community centers over there right now. We're working on projects like that. So you can donate to the People's Action through Cash App or through PayPal, or we would love to expand. And if you are interested in opening up a chapter in your community, we would love to come out there and work with you and see if you actually are about that life. And we would love to expand our organization from that way as well. So those are the ways that you can help the People's Action.
Okay. Now, your email is info@thepeoplesaction.com. Am I correct?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. And tell us what's going on December 5th.
December 5th?
Yes.
Okay. December 5th, is that on my website?
Yeah, it's on social media. I saw it on social media.
Okay. Yeah, so on December 5th, I want to say that's our educational meeting. We got so much going on. I got several things on December 5th, so when you said that, it triggered my mind, because we're trying to get in a grant proposal for this community center around that time. But no, we have our educational meetings too. So every second Saturday of the month, we do political education, man. One of the things that the Black Panthers had right is that before they was trying to give you those guns, man, they made sure that you had the political mind frame before anything else, and that's what we do. So we educate. In order to be a TPA member, you have to have political education once a month. You got to understand the history, and you got to know the terrain in terms of the politics. You can't walk out of here like a fool talking about black power and black love and stuff, but you don't know nothing or anything about nothing. That's bad practices. So we open it up to the community to get that political education, because we are definitely serious about this work, and we want people to not go in blind, man. So that's what we're doing on December 5th. That's at 2727 2nd Street, Detroit, Michigan, downtown, first floor, conference room 1, man. And they can get that information on our website.
Okay. Another thing now is talking about, I want to ask you, what's the difference between the Black Lives Matters movement? I know the difference, but to the listeners, what's the difference between the Black Lives Matters movement and the Black Power movement? Because that was a movement alone also.
Yeah. So the Black Lives Matter movement, man. It's a little complex, man. There's so many things. One thing I always said about the Black Lives Matter, I think they should really change their name, because they really focus on when a black person is being killed by a police officer. That's when they actually step up. They don't necessarily be around for anything else outside of that. They are funded. A lot of people have to question, who they were funded by was questionable, and also what their real true agenda was. They got kind of veered off, and it really seemed like it had started to become an LGBT movement and stuff like that. And again, I don't have nothing against my LGBT sisters and stuff like that, but if you are who you are, you need to stay on that. I don't like people that just masquerade on a certain movement and then be something else. And I think the Black Lives Matter movement has veered off into variations of many different things outside of what it's supposed to be. So the Black Power movement is about self-sustainability. It's about controlling, owning, and it's about having your own, and it's about prioritizing black people first. And I think the Black Lives Matter has veered off. I know when it first started off, it was powerful, it was strong, it appeared to be, but it don't necessarily seem to have any kind of agenda. I don't even know what the hell Black Lives Matter agenda is. I don't know what it is. I think it's just there, and it's just all over the place, man.
But see, that's why I asked you the difference, because that's a major difference. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
No, it is, but I know some of the brothers and sisters who probably joined the Black Lives Matter have good intentions. So I try to be careful with how I address it, because I don't want to necessarily feel like I'm attacking brothers and sisters who joined the movement with good intentions. It's just like, even with, the police, man, the police force in itself, the history of the police is a bad thing. So people may get thrown off when they say, oh, you working with the popos? Like, no, I'm not working with the popos to lock up me. Anytime I work with the police, it's for two things only. Because the Black Power movement is the one who got the kind of relationship with the police, because we hold them accountable. And that's how it's supposed to be. I work with the police on the two conditions: rapists and child molestation, and then the second one is firing cops. I done got like 3 to 4 cops fired in Detroit, and that's because we hold them accountable. We don't let the police just run around and just be on some bullshit. You can't run it. You can't come in our city as a cop and be on some rah-rah shit and there's no consequence. That ain't how it works. And that's what Black Power is about. We don't look at things from a victimized standpoint. We look at things from a power move. You know what I mean? I don't get off on playing the victim. I get off on playing the power move and saying, look, you come in our city, nah, we not going to have that. That's how we got to be. And I think a lot of times when you look on social media and you look at some of the brothers and sisters, man, they get caught up in the victimization role. And you got to understand it's Black Power, not Black submission. You know what I mean? Not Black victim, Black Power. So you got to identify and got to understand what power is. Power is to dictate. Power is to control. Power is to have your own narrative. And that's what Black Power really is. And that's what I try to exemplify in my everyday life.
Brother, I appreciate your time, man. For the listeners, if you would like to contact the People's Action, info at thepeoplesaction.com. Like I said, info at thepeoplesaction.com. And if you have any questions or anything like that, is it okay to DM you niggas?
Oh man, it is. And let me just say this one more time.
Go ahead, brother.
Again, man, the police brutalities across the country is ridiculous right now. It's crazy. I'm not saying everything is nice and dandy in the city of Detroit. We got some racist cops we've been getting fired. But if y'all need help in terms of how to build those relationships, because again, we got great relationships with the cops. They show the utmost respect to us. And we just had that kind of relationship, man. And I know it can't. I know it can't be like that every city, because some of these cops are just too goddamn racist. They just need to be all the way shut down. But even with that being said, there's a way to handle them as well. And I'm always open to share that model with my brothers and sisters and build with my brothers and sisters. Again, you just got to be genuine, and you just can't be talking just be talking, because we about that action. Peace and love, family. But go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just had to make that last point.
Yes, and also, the People's Action will be having a community meeting December 5th. Is it at 6 p.m.?
It's at 12 p.m.
12 p.m. What's the location?
2727 2nd Street, Detroit.
All right, brother Negus.
And they can get all that information online too.
Okay, cool. Brother Negus, it's been a complete honor to talk to you, and I appreciate you coming on my podcast, sharing information, dropping knowledge. I appreciate that, brother.
Man, it's always a pleasure, man. Anytime, man. Just reach out.